instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. This player going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we have seen many a time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Might be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. Seems screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now ends middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's number.
Demo does come through, those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up to this one, now to the left side. All three members right here. This is a very bottled up defense, and Sharky takes a bite.
No one even there because, frankly, I think Kennesaw thought that bounce was going to be going a different direction. Same maybe with the defense here for UNG. They can't read it. Slavip does. It's 1-1. They were actually on the far side waiting for an awkward touch and then dove in and actually used their flip angle to throw it right back in the middle. Of course, I'm talking about them. And meanwhile, it's just Swiss cheese for Kennesaw. They're getting sliced through by the blade that is the UNG attack. How about Joel trying to show them how it's done? It's a little bit too soft, a little bit of a double commit even. Quonk near post, that's a miss. Slavip, that's a miss. Joel, that's a miss. Everybody swinging at it. Get these people some corrective lenses because it's Sharky on the far side with the clear vision from the teammate. My goodness, my heart.
And there's really no need for them to. There's only one way that they can come in. This is perfect execution, and with all 5 members left upstanding, they only have one opportunity to get in there. Raga, 3 kills on the board, make that 4! Raga on fire already in a flawless first round here. Raga. As much as I respect this B wall being put here, the problem becomes is that they have the weapons to really mess things up. Oh, Asafai not clear the corners, up in the air. No way! Sunflower still walks away before finally being taken down with 2 kills. Gonna blast them right in. Parker's gonna try and find it. 2 concussed in heaven, but they're not gonna get any advantage out of this breach ultimate. Beautiful from Killavati. What a way to fight that out. And now wrapped in it, the nightmarish embrace of Glore. USCA finds every single player of GCSU. In comes the Prowler. Madness at her. It's just not many. It's head after head after head. 3 in a row. They are not stopping. They are putting a hat on each and every single one.
Ties us up 4-4, but with this weapons disadvantage and now player disadvantage, what else to be done other than lay down and die? USCA winning split 13-1. The most, if their accuracy stands to boot. Now, unfortunately, I'm not so far, but who cares when B gets a 4 4K and rips this team apart on this site.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 7 of ECAC broadcast on Esports U. My name is Kean Miles, and this is Captain at Soka, getting ready to go into Kean University, taking on Old Dominion University in some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate crew battles.
Oh, absolutely. We have been going through week after week, seeing gameplay just get better and better, and eventually we will make our way into the postseason where we're going to see the best of the best. But until then, we have got to see some more league play, and that's what we're going to be giving you today. But that's not all we're going to be giving you, is it, Kilo Miles?
Absolutely not. As, well, these teams... These teams are kind of stacked. I'm not going to lie to you. Lust from, sorry, which side? Kean University is already a player who has been sweeping entire scene and of their own right, and now they're going up against someone of their own caliber because the way and we're already into it. But we're not going to be able to see that player right off the bat. It's actually going to be Sheldon versus Shizune opening us up very quick.
Oh, yeah, and here we go. Again, I haven't gotten to see a Midman in quite some time, but honestly, I don't know what has been longer that I have yet to see. Was it the Midman, or was it, you know, like Nicholas? Again, it's just been so long. I've seen either of these characters, so again, this is actually a pretty interesting first match.
Yeah, and this one is a little bit tricky to me because while Pit is known for having a lot of mix-ups off stage, as soon as you're forced into using that recovery move, Min just has such versatility, so many different ways to use the arms to call them out and get a kill. So if we see It's No Use go off the edge, you got to be holding your breath.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of like Min again because they have that additional reach, but you know what? I just haven't seen enough of Pit, you know, successfully to where I don't know. I feel like this is a tough matchup because again, Pit, I feel like is really good at getting the ins and the outs, and then Min with that reach, I know it just kind of feels like they take that away from Pit.
Yeah, Pit is an all-rounder to the fullest extent, which means mediocre range, mediocre damage, mediocre recovery, mediocre everything. And while he does have everything, he doesn't have it very well, and that doesn't really help when you have someone with an X factor like Min.
Yeah, now Min on the edge guard, looking to land that final smash, not able to land it though. And it's only going to take one at this point. I mean, they're both in the red currently, both in elimination potential, but it will be Min from Old Dominion to lose the first stock. Oh, revenge.
Yeah, Shizune opens right on back, though. Not looking to be called out like that. Shizune had the lead for so long there, but now it's back to this range game, but It's No Use does get an opening, down throw into the nair, setting up into an edge guard, gets the regrab. That's a cheeky little 48%, an opportunity for an edge guard right there, catches that get up, and It's No Use is just layering on the pressure at ledge, forcing options out of Shizune, but finally they battled their way out of the corner.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it seems like Pit really woke up. I mean, you're looking at It's No Use from Kean University, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're starting to answer back pretty strong. I mean, they were leading in with those mid-platform, well, those mid-stage combos for a little bit, but then Min now starting to go on a little bit of a tear here, trying to even the odds, but right now, it's still Pit barely holding on to a 26% lead.
Yeah, and it's the story of most Min matches where It's No Use got a lot of mileage as soon as they got their opening. They held on to advantage state. However, it's getting that advantage back that's the hard part when, like you called out, Min's reach is just oppressive. Shizune is using it wonderfully. It's No Use got that one opening at the beginning and we applauded, but now they haven't gotten anything since then. 111 and maybe a little bit of death on the side as they get that super armor through there and they get caught by the second blow. You gotta be ready for the right hook.
And now you can see Min here with that one stock advantage, but they are sitting at 87%, but already going to work on this Pit. 67. This Min from Old Dominion is looking to lap Pit and damage, and they're nearly getting it done. And from the second stock to now the last stock, they have just been holding Pit on this right edge guard.
Yes, they have. And right now, we're seeing Shizune. I mean, again, Shizune started this stock at 80%, has taken a few bits of chip damage from these dark arrows, but for the most part, it has been for naught, as It's No Use, again, continues to just pepper them with arrows, and Shizune continues to put It's No Use into dangerous, life-threatening situations. It's No Use has an opportunity to get a kill, but getting caught out, throwing an arrow like that, you're gonna be called out. That's going to be Shizune finishing them off with 2 stocks in the bank.
Yeah, and that was a great first match. Old Dominion now going up 2 stocks overall in the crew battle. And you know what? I got to tell you, one thing that I noticed is maybe, just maybe, when do you think we're going to get Jake from State Farm as an SSBU character? When? When is that update?
I'm thinking 2 games from now. I feel like Nintendo still has the capital to get some big names. They're getting Master Chief in the next game. They're getting all sorts of stuff. But like,
Kratos is
2
coming
games? Yeah, 2 games down the line? You think Nintendo's really still gonna have that pool? It's hard to say. Like 10 years in the future, they might have to start reaching a little bit.
Yeah, well, it looks like the Pit from Kean University is done and dusted. So I'm curious as to what they're going to be bringing next to the matchup against Pit. I mean, not Pit. Pit is the one that went down against Min from Old Dominion, because again, that Min was looking pretty strong. I mean, they did take a lot of damage. They did lose a stock, but on that second stock, they did so good at just managing the entire bout. Like, they didn't take any additional damage on their second stock and were able to take the third and final off of Pit. So how do you answer that? Are you going to go with the counter pick here?
I mean, you've got to try to have someone who has either an X factor or the speed to close in on Min. And what you're looking for really is air speed, not ground speed, because you can have all the ground speed in the world and all the mix-ups in the world. Min is going to take away the ground as a factor for the entire game. So you've got to be looking towards the air. Who has the agility to close in? Now, also, like I said, X factor. Some characters in this game have something that just fundamentally changes the way the game is altered. Think the way Steve places blocks. Think the way, Min uses her arms to take away 60% of the stage from the center of it. It's these things that can force Min to adapt her gameplay on the fly, and I do know there are some people on the side of Kean who can do that. Namely, again, I was starting to talk about them earlier, Lust. Bayonetta and Peach, their combo game is insurmountable. And so if you get touched once, you're taking 120% minimum. You might just die.
Yeah, the first thing that whenever you mentioned aerial speed, Bayonetta instantly entered my mind. Again, I've been seeing such great Bayonetta play throughout, the collegiate esports scene, and Bayonetta, again, has been somewhat of a clutch factor for a lot of these crew battles. And more often than not, you'll see the Bayonetta in the middle of the pack, not necessarily an opener, not usually a finisher. They're usually right there in the middle. And again, that Bayonetta, like you said, you find that one opening, and then all of a sudden you're taking 150 to 200% damage. The only catch-22 with that is that Bayonetta doesn't have a lot of knockback. The kickback potential really isn't there that much, really. So at the same time, Min's not that heavy either. So I feel like it would be a decent matchup. That honestly would be a good counter pick. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about the comfort pick. Who is going to be coming through on the side of Kean University, and what character are they best at? That's going to be the real difference maker.
And for both these teams, and us included, this first crew battle is always all about this information gathering game. Because you can do all the research ahead of time. You can know what characters they're playing. You can even take detailed notes on their play styles. But you're not going to know how your style actually collides with them until you've played with them. And so that's what these two teams are feeling out right now. Who can take down who? Old Dominion, they're facing down a team, Kean, whose only loss is to the #1 school, Fisher College. So a lot right now on the shoulders of Kean College, or Kean University, but at the moment they have not been able to hold up, and it does look like Lust, the Bayonetta player, is going to be coming in to take on Shizune on the Min.
Yep, no surprise there. Again, that's where you expect to see the Bayonetta right there in the middle of the crew, and they are coming in to try and take care of this Min. Again, this is a great matchup, and this should be going the way of Kean, and they should be able to even the stock. But right now, with Old Dominion, their Min having 2 stocks left, it's going to be their goal to try and take at least 1 off of this Bayonetta from Kean University.
But Shizune playing the range game beautifully right now. Lust has not been able to get a single opener. Goes in for the down tilt, but again, Shizune just retreats, catching that overshoot. Now Lust gets an opening. It has to be big. Like we said, the advantage state is this character's life and death. If you don't get this kill here, what are you doing? And Lust does finish her food. That is going to be Lust taking them down, and Lust is already stacking up the percent.
And that's what's so dangerous about Bayonetta. Like, don't get me wrong, they are in the elimination range right now, 91% in the red. But with Bayonetta, they don't even have to have that knockback potential, which they can get through a witch time and give them an opening for a big forward smash. But, you know, they could just literally juggle you all the way into the blast zone, and they don't even have to knock you back. They can just take you all the way to the edge.
And look at the impressive way Lust is playing ever since he gained that advantage state. Now forced to recover, but Shizune is still giving so much respect to them, especially since Lust is demonstrating his ability to parry on the ground and track down Shizune. Shizune is going for these retreating aerials that netted them that initial advantage, but Lust is not letting them have it.
Oh, and a nice recovery there coming from the Min to take at least 1 stock. So again, not bad. I mean, you got to keep in mind that this Min has already 3-stocked one of their opponents already. So now they have taken a total of 4 stocks. They have done their job and then 1 extra. So when they get eliminated, and they do, it is still a great round coming from that Min of Old Dominion, as Bayonetta does finally put an end to them.
Yeah, and that was exactly what we were talking about, with a combination of the airspeed, the aerial approaches, and of course, the combo game, the advantage state. Because yeah, Shizune didn't let Lust play the game for the first 20 seconds of that match. It was all Lust approaching on the ground and Shizune gracefully retreating backwards and hitting them with a right hook. But then Lust started to get a little wise to their tricks, started parrying on the ground, started coming in from an upwards diagonal angle. All of a sudden, you see Shizune on the back foot retreating, and you're so focused on getting away from the constant assault from Lust that you're not even throwing up the dukes of your own.
Yeah, and you know, now that this Bayonetta is going to be the opponent that you're going to have to answer from Old Dominion, I'm wondering what they're going to go with here. I'm wondering what pick do they have lined up. Honestly, I'm a big guy myself. I'm a big heavy. I want to see some big heavies on the stage. You know what I mean? I want to see somebody come out that can take a lot of the damage that Bayonetta is dishing out, because remember, they don't have a lot of kickback potential. So again, if you get one of those big heavies, they're just going to have to constantly apply combo after combo after combo, and then maybe get them up to 250% damage before they can finally eliminate one of the big guys. So I wouldn't mind seeing a Bowser. You know, I love me some Bowser, and not to mention, again, trying to hide my bias, but some King K. Rool, because again, they do have a little bit of ranged abilities there, you know, bringing the musket in the crown. And again, these are just my preferences on how I would deal with a Bayonetta, but you know, 'tis hoping.
It does look like that we have a confirmation of who is going to be coming in. It's going to be Nova Star from the side of ODU, rocking the Sonic, which I feel like we were talking about airspeed as the key narrative for Bayonetta. Well, there's ground speed for days for Sonic. It's going to be so difficult for Bayonetta to track them down. So The question is, where do you find the kills? Because I feel like a stray hit can lead into a huge combo, but Bayonetta needs something stronger to find that kill. You called out the witch time. I feel like with how uncontrollable Sonic speed can be, especially online, that could be the play, but it remains to be seen. Novastar has probably, I'll be honest, one of the toughest players on the side of Kean to contend with right now if they want to keep ODU in the lead.
Yeah, and you know, with Sonic for that matter, again, they have been one of, well, actually not even, they are the speediest character. I mean,
Yes,
Smash,
yes,
it's
they
literally
are.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I'm thinking to myself, one of, no, they are. Like, what am I thinking? No, they are the speediest character. You know, and again, you know, I love watching Sonic go to work, and you know what, their offstage isn't bad either. You know, whenever they can successfully use those springs, and again, being able to use the zip roll, it's really fun watching a Sonic go to work. You know what, that's what we're seeing. We're getting ready to see the Sonic come through from ODU as we get ready to head into our next matchup. And right now, this Bayonetta does have 2 stocks remaining, so it doesn't have to be a full bout. This Sonic just has to take 2, and they will be moving on.
Yeah, as, well, this is, well, you talk about the off-stage play. Lust is just demonstrating how if Novastar wants to use any of Sonic's infamous off-stage play, then they're going to have to deal with a character who can linger down there for 40 seconds straight, uncontested. So maybe Novastar wants to play this a lot more set to the stage. However, Novastar isn't getting a chance to use that ground game if Lust continues this juggle. Able to use the bats within to escape that combo, and a witch time right there on the spin attack as well. And Lust doesn't overcommit either. Just opens up combo of their own. They're making Novastar sweat.
Yeah, that they are. And you know what? That was a wonderful witch time, because a lot of the time when I see the witch time come out, it is actually on the ground trying to counter a lot of the ground attacks, given that Bayonetta is so aerial based. But the fact they were able to hit the witch time in air, oh, that was perfectly placed. And again, I'm wondering if they're going to be able to utilize that one more time. But I don't know. Novastar looks like they're starting to catch on.
Yeah, this spin dash to up air, we've seen it again and again from Novastar. Spin dash to up air, right there. Spin dash, and they almost went into the up air. They did it instinctually, and while that is a great combo, don't get me wrong, it is something that Lust is DIing out of consistently, especially at 99%.
All right, now we're in the danger here. We're in the elimination potential. All it's going to take is one solid hit from either, and off they go into the blast zone. So I want to ask you, Kilomiles, who is the squishier of the two? Is it Bayonetta, or is it going to be this Sonic?
Well, I feel like in terms of pure weight, it doesn't really matter because of the fact that both of them can get back from ludicrous percents. It is going to be Lust that goes down first, though. After such a dominant opening, Novastar is showing incredible resilience, calling out Bayonetta's key weakness that she can't kill. Unless she catches you with a jab at ledge. Because that, my friend, will eliminate you.
Well, there it goes. We're now down to 2 stock versus 1, but Sonic already getting a lead in damage percentage. But Bayonetta only needs one solid aerial combo to balance the budget here. As there they go, and we are back even in no time flat.
And yet, Lust started a stock down. So even though you're even, Lust still has a deficit to make up if Kean University wants to gain a lead right here. Meanwhile, ODU just needs to keep it even. Keep trading blow for blow, because that initial advantage that was afforded to ODU, thanks to June, is going to continue to carry them to the win if things continue as they are. Something needs to change in Kean right now, but with how Novastar is getting aggressive at the ledge, I'm not sure that's going to happen.
And now we're going right back up into these up dashes, and now Bayonetta looking to get the finish here just by carrying Sonic to the blast zone, but no, we're going to find ourselves right back onto stage. Is now Sonic again trying to find an opening, but I got to tell you, Bayonetta has been able to defend against a lot of these attacks.
Yeah, it's that witch kick. Looking for the combo opening, and I like how Lust is not overcommitting right here. Novastar is trying to lay on the pressure, and ever since the beginning where Novastar was called out for their predictable movement, Lust has been on the bitter end of the fact that Novastar has adapted and Lust has not. Rising back air from ledge right there, turned around underneath the stage so they could hit that back air and hit Lust with a haymaker they were not ready for, and because of that, it's going to be Old Dominion leading 5 stocks to 3 right now here in this first crew battle of week 7.
Yeah, we have been seeing a really good amount of pressure coming from ODU and constantly applying pressure to Kean just by getting the stock advantage and then not letting it go. They got the 2 stock advantage initially with the Min, you know, who had a fantastic first game against Pitt, and then they just haven't let go of that stock advantage. It's literally been ironclad, and now we're going into the last fighter for the side of Kean University, and they're going to have to go up against the Sonic as well. So it's not as though that they're done with necessarily. I mean, they're going to have a good bout, but they're going to have to make up 2 stocks on this Sonic without dropping a single one just to put us back even.
And this is where we could see a big trump card revealed from Kean, because I haven't seen Kean University from last year. I will fully admit that. And last year, Lust was the key player you had to keep your eye on. It's been a full year, Gap. We have no idea who this last player could be. And listen, Kean is undefeated except for Fisher College, which, I'll be honest, barely counts as a loss. Everyone's going to lose to Fisher. So, where is this last player? Who is this last player? Was it Lust coming in early to counter Shizune? Or is there another anchor that we don't know about? That's what I'm excited to see right now. Who is this last player on the side of Kean?
I don't know, but I really hope that it's some form of Pokemon, just because who's that last player? Who's that Pokemon? Just to, you know, kind of entertain myself there. I feel like that would be very funny. But regardless, it is going to be up to the last player from Kean University and, of course, ODU. They still have a 3rd player waiting in the wing as well. They still have their cleanup player just waiting. And but at least I am not going to be 100% certain on who they're going to be bringing out here. But I got to ask you, you know, if you were on the side of Kean University, what are you going to go with to counter this Sonic?
I mean, the classic counter pick time and time again that a lot of people have in their pocket is the Pyra Mithra, because Mithra is one of the few characters in the game with the speed to match Sonic and the disjoint to counter him when he approaches. That is why so many pro players just have a pocket Pyra Mithra specifically for Sonics. So if we do see someone who has that Pyra Mithra and they're fully confident in it, I would not be shocked to see that coming out. However, that does leave you a little bit open when you're on the side of the stage. And we talked about Novastar getting aggressive off stage. If that counterpick comes out, that's when we would see that aggression, because we didn't really see that last game against Bayonetta.
Yeah, and you know what? It's so funny because myself, I'm more of a fan of chaos, right? So I want to see speed versus speed and in the most uncontrollable fashion possible. So again, just for my own amusement, I would love to see a Little Mac in this situation just to go up against Sonic. You literally have the speediest character in the game versus the speediest brawler and somebody that can literally knock you out with a single punch. And I'm not even including the KO punch, by the way. If they get a single solid uppercut against Sonic, then boom, you know, that can instantly be a stock down. But again, I just love the chaos, and I think a Sonic versus a Little Mac would just be really fun to watch. It's not gonna happen, but a man can dream.
Yeah, I mean, a man can certainly dream, and I think it's a possibility, but it would have to be a truly spectacular, a 1 in 1,000 type of Little Mac to be able to stand up to Novastar, because while you have that ground speed, yes, Novastar has the luxury of having the ground speed and also being able to jump way high above you on that spring, and then all of a sudden, where are you going to go? You have one option to call out someone going above you with that uppercut. It does look like we have the player joining the lobby right now, so it won't be long before we get to find out. And just a reminder, Kean University, only 3 stocks remaining. These 3 stocks that we're about to see on this player's health bar, that's all that Kean University has left in this first crew battle. But it's only the first crew battle, because after this, there is going to be a second crew battle. You got to win 2 to take home the win here in ECAC.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's going to be at least 2. Who knows? Maybe Kean University can come through with a comeback right here, or even in game 2, and then send us into a game 3. All shall be revealed in time, in due time. And honestly, I just hope we get to see some heavies, because again, as a big heavy myself, I love seeing the big heavy hitters again, especially some Ganondorf. Ganon is always fun. Again, not like the best heavy in the game, but still, just a fun time for the whole family. And you know what? I'm also a big fan of Donkey Kong. And, you know, I missed the moments where we had a lot of Donkey Kongs. The Donkey Kong pick rate was just going through the roof for a moment. I don't know if it was for the memes. I don't know if it was just for genuine belief that, you know, we can make Donkey Kong part of the heavy meta. But again, it was a fun time. It truly, truly was. And again, I'm always going to be a favorite of King K. Rool. Love me some King K. Rool. But still, we have been absent of heavy so far here today.
I mean, I really hope he gets catch a Northwood match at some point, because Copel's King K. Rool over at Northwood is a sight to behold. Because a lot of people think of him as a, you know, heavy looking for counter hits, but Copel plays him as a trap character where he himself is the bait. Because you think you can go in there and hit him, and all of a sudden you're hitting someone who has super armor, you're hitting someone who is not taking hit stun, and all of a sudden you're getting reversaled into instant death. That is the potential some of these players bring to their characters. And looking for those reversals is the mark of a true good player. We saw a few today, like, for example, when Lust got off the ledge and instantly got caught off that down smash. Even though Lust had been winning that entire match, all of a sudden, one stray down smash, and Chizune was back in it. Those little reversals, being able to take a losing situation and turn it into a win out of nowhere, that is what we need to be seeing, especially from Kean if they want to turn this around.
Well, that's really the difference maker in any esport, but especially in Super Smash, is the ability to adapt and react in the middle of a fight. It's one thing to adapt and react in the middle of a series where you get a little bit of a break, you can kind of decompress, you can analyze yourself a little bit, but to make the changes in the middle of a bout, that is what separates the weak from the chaff, the better from the best, and the champions from the runner-ups. So again, it's just being able to read and react to those type of plays. That is really what separates the pros from the amateurs. So again, it's just going to be interesting to see on how these reactions and these adaptations are going to be made, you know, still, as we are still here in game number 1. We haven't even made it to game 2 yet.
Yeah, and with that said, I do know that if anyone's sitting here watching, this is taking a little long. We acknowledge that, and we do thank everyone for their patience. We're working to get these players in the game as fast as we can, but sometimes life happens, a little bit of delay, but we are going to be in the game soon enough. I keep seeing little bits of development. I keep seeing them go from stand to ring, from stand to ring. It's funny, we've got this little TV right here. It's right there. Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, we talked a little bit about how, like, Kean has only really lost to Fisher, but
which everybody does.
Yeah, like, just having the record that you do, both these teams, I mean, the way ECAC does it, you are usually going to be facing harder and harder teams each and every round. And I mean, just in this time alone, ODU in this season has gone up against some of the best of the best. One of the premier ones I'm seeing is SJU, who they took a dominant 2-0 over in the previous week. I mean, if ODU wins this one, I believe, going through this, yeah, they'll have been undefeated this entire season. So we were hyping up Kean. Well, that's ODU, who is currently undefeated for this entire ECAC season.
Well, that's a pretty impressive track record, I must say. But, you know, while we still got, I guess we got a minute, but hold on. It looks as though that this match is finally going to be going underway. And do we get the privy of seeing the character selection? I don't, is this normal? Do we usually get the peek behind the curtain? I mean, we already know there's going to be a Sonic, right? But do we get to see who the last player from Kean University is? Do we get to get a sneak peek?
I would love a sneak peek, Cap. Unfortunately, it does look like we're taking our sweet time. We're selecting the music. Listen, the music counter picks are a huge thing. You got to be able to like, if you get a stage counterpick, you should be able to get the music counterpick. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, facts. 100% agree. Donkey Kong Country soundtrack #1.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Gangplank Galleon. Oh, it hits so hard. I once was at a tournament. I was hosting a tournament, actually. And one player, he was fully winning the set, but the other guy started to make a comeback. Game 5, he switches to Donkey Kong. He selects Gangplank Galleon and gets ready for a final showdown. Switches over to Donkey Kong. And he did lose spectacularly, but it was a really cool moment, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, and again, you know, that music really is a difference maker sometimes. I mean, also, I'll be honest, like, whenever I'm, like, you know, kind of on the receiving end of a, I'm trying to think of a polite way to think about this, of a stomping, of a curb stomping, and I'm not doing so well, you know, I got to tell you, the Pokemon Stadium music definitely puts me back into a real robust mood. It makes me a little bit more aggressive. So again, that soundtrack, you know, it definitely can be the X factor for, you know, maybe some situations. Who knows?
It's really the gift that keeps on giving. And speaking of giving, the ECAC is kicking off a series of giveaways going into the holidays with their Season of Thanks. For November, they're giving away a HyperX keyboard. And so if you want to enter, just click that link in the chat for a chance to win right over there or there. Yeah, over that way. And you will be able to, to your right. Yeah, right over there. Yeah, perfect. You're going to be seeing someone posting that link right there, and hop in. It's free. There's no reason not to. You can get a keyboard. And those keyboards are nice, too.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to say, you know, HyperX is actually like my favorite brand, you know. So when it comes to all things esports, I got my red one. I got my blue one, you know,
You came fully prepared.
My microphone, which is down here, also, you know, HyperX. It's legitimately my favorite brand. I don't know what to tell you. It's just my thing. I don't know. I trust it. It hasn't done me wrong yet, but yeah. So that keyboard, honestly, I would get it if I didn't already have one. You know, I would go for it, but you know, I'm all set over here.
Yeah, fair. You're all decked out. And while the players are getting ready, you know, getting in the chat, entering the giveaway, we're going to go to a very quick break so we can get everything tidied up, get ready for the next crew battle, or not even the next crew battle, the last match of this crew battle, so we can get into the next crew battle. It's going to be hype. It's Kean versus ODU, and it will be back after this quick break. And welcome back, everybody. We are right back into the game, and who else could it be but a Sonic Ditto? But we've got Silver and Shadow adorning our screens today, as right now, AG Nation is out here, AG Nation is out here representing Kean, trying to keep the hopes alive in this first crew battle. And I mean, if you're gonna pick any character to do it, this is a decent start. At least that's what I would say if Novastar was not absolutely lapping them in the percents. This is basically an even game right now, and catches them out with the spring so low. And yet it's Novastar who's being put on the back foot right here in the corner. Right here, we see the back airs try to come out. AG Nation wanted to finish their food right there, but Novastar did not let them have a bite. Instead, it is Novastar who continues to lay on the pressure. AG Nation is back into the fray, gets right back in there, and even though they started at a significant deficit after waking up, getting a little bit of a wake-up slap, they are clawing their way back into this, and it's kind of a case of who blinks first. Because you saw there, Novastar spin dash first, and that let AG Nation react and get an advantage right here. That is the strength of Sonic. You get to pick and choose every single one of your engagements unless you're facing someone with an identical move speed to yours. But a homing attack right into the shield, I'm shocked AG Nation didn't get punished with that. Back air off of the ledge, once again, that's going to be the finisher. And we see Novastar ending up getting some points on the board for the side of Old Dominion, because again, 2 stocks left on the side of Kean, and it's not looking pretty, I'll tell you. Everybody, this is where dreams are made or broken. Because AG Nation is trying to play this very slow, very calculated, and it's working out a lot. But the problem is, even though Novastar is not winning every single neutral interaction, even though they're actually winning probably a smaller percentage, it doesn't matter, because with the significant lead that the other team members have built for Novastar, they can play even. They can play worse than even, because even those worse than even odds are still going to be a win for the side of ODU. And so Kean needs to find a way to even those odds, but AG Nation has not been able to find it. It looked like they had a ghost of a chance at the beginning of this stock, but I don't think it's going to be the case. Yeah. Now, this is where I get a little scared. This is where I get a little frightened, because now we see AG Nation, who had a full stock lead, only get 30% on their opponent, and all of a sudden Novastar, sure, they're off stage, but they've done their part, they've done it well. AG Nation needs to find a kill now if they want any hope of getting it, but it runs right into the forward smash. Nothing beats Sonic's forward smash, especially not Sonic's forehead, because now you see AG Nation try to throw out one of their own, but Novastar wisely avoids it by going straight behind it. And Novastar now, they are putting in work. AG Nation has only gotten a little bit of chip damage here and nothing that's converted into a full combo.
Nope, not yet. And I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm expecting the big skill issue to come in at any moment right now, because this is Sonic v Sonic. The only difference is the skill at the end of the day. I mean, there's really no advantage at this point. Of course, don't get me wrong, it is Shadow. I mean, I don't know if that really makes a difference. I mean, Shadow is cooler, but finally, they do hit a back throw, and they will get that second stock off of Novastar.
And Novastar, an opportunity to finish it right here and now, put the nail in the coffin, an edge guard situation, but AG Nation battles their way right through it and gets a combo of their own, bouncing all around the stage, but they're able to avoid these attempts at a kill right here. AG Nation goes for it all with a down air and give up their stage advantage.
And back right to center stage we go. Oh, and what a big back air coming from Novastar, forcing AG Nation off platform. But they do manage to find their way back center stage, and a big forward smash to put an end to Kean University here in game number 1.
And it's no use. Tried so hard right there at the end. Novastar was just too elusive, too slippery. It forced AG Nation to get very creative with their recoveries, going all the way to center stage, trying to avoid every single opportunity. But the problem is, going to center stage isn't going to do a lot when your opponent can more or less move at the speed of sound right behind you and follow up with a forward smash. There really aren't recovery mix-ups when your opponent can be anywhere on the stage in half a second.
And that was only game number 1. And we didn't even get to see who the third player was over there from ODU. We didn't even get to see what character they were going to bring. So I think maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see them in game number 2. And then maybe Kean would be able to make a pretty impressive comeback to send us into a game 3. That would be nice. But more than anything, I just need to know who is behind that question mark right there for ODU.
I mean, here's the thing. We know who it could be. We have their roster and we see these characters. They are frightening. And the thing is, I feel like just vibes so far. ODU is one of those teams who the skill is kind of evenly distributed throughout the team. I'm not expecting we're going to see some big clutch carry player, but that doesn't matter to me because that gives them the ability to not have to hold anyone in reserve. If you think Shizune is going to be the best pick, you send in Shizune. If you think Novastar is going to be the best pick, you send in Novastar. Same thing for Voltatic Breeze and Fish. Both of these players hiding in reserve, both could be the big kicker right here as well, it's very tough to deal with one of these teams because you can vary your player order as much as you want, but ODU is always going to have an answer. I can see how ODU is undefeated. I completely understand that now that I've seen it demonstrated here in this week 7 crew battle.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like it's even more detrimental for Kean because they showed their entire hand. We already know all 3 characters, more than likely, that would be suspected to be selected by Kean University going into game number 2. Meanwhile, ODU, you know, we know who the third player is, but we don't know what character they're more than likely going to bring. We do know the first 2, Min and a Sonic. Could expect them to go with the same picks, but still you have that one factor of we don't know who they're going to be picking. I mean, I'm sure they have more than one character they like to use, but we're going to have to find out after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate right here on the ECAC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second crew battle in Kean University versus ODU. ODU is up 1-0, and they're getting right back into the fray right here, as we're seeing AG Nation, the anchor from the first game, return on Kean, taking on Voltaic Breeze right now, coming in swinging for ODU.
And I like that they're coming with the Ryu, because again, when it comes to Smash, I really do like my brawlers. If I had to put myself in a designation of my favorite picks, it would be in the brawler category. I don't know, it's a tough, because I like my brawlers, sorties, and heavies, but still, the brawlers to me are so much fun to fight. But regardless, I'm very surprised that they went with a Ryu, because for a lot of the Street Fighter players in Smash, they love going with Kean. So seeing a Ryu to me is rather interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too. I mean, it's the classic pick right here, and maybe it's because Ryu does have some stronger, objectively stronger numbers-wise scrapping tools. And here's the thing. Oh, AG Nation is able to finish them off because AG Nation can pick when and where every single engagement happens, but they cannot pick how. And as you can see here, Voltaic Breeze has so many ways to leverage these situations in their favor, and even though they have no control over where and when they fight, when AG Nation does approach, they can interrupt with a jab, with a focus attack, with so many different options. So AG Nation is just playing very carefully, playing the footsies that are ending up being to detriment of Voltaic Breeze.
Yeah, they're trying to get these Hadoukens in. You know, one lands, but unfortunately it looked like they went for another ranged attack. But they're not going to need it. A simple uppercut, not even the Shoryuken. And it was enough to send AG Nation to the blast zone.
Yeah, now we do end up back to neutral. And AG Nation had domination in the neutral in the latter half of that first stock. We'll see if they continue to maintain it, or if we do see Voltaic Breeze hold onto advantage state, because right now, realistically, you are one interaction away from death. But the fact that AG Nation can spin attack right under the Hadouken is such a key point in this matchup. It means that Voltaic Breeze doesn't really have a way to feel safe on the ground.
And it's just the speed of Sonic right now that is just a huge detriment to this Ryu pick from ODU, as now the edge guard is underway. And did they get hit by the spring? It looked like they got hit by the spring as it just dropped down low. It didn't even do a lot of damage. It was just cheeky.
Yeah, it was. And oh, that's exactly how you got to deal with that focus attack. Because you see, focus attack that Voltaic Breeze has been using to great effect only works if you get hit once. If you get hit even twice, you are getting that focus broken. And well, Sonic has a lot of ways to hit you multiple times.
I was gonna say, is this Sonic or is this Shadow? I mean, I know it's just a skin, but still, though, it's Shadow. Shadow Sonic.
But also...
Yeah, it's Sonic. But regardless, they're doing a fantastic job again, sticking with the tried and true. They're going with the roll up into the up airs again, what we have seen time and time again, especially there. And not only that, but also, you know, from the Sonic from ODU, they keep it the same strat, and this time it works for Kean University, as they will take that first bout, and now they will take a 2-stock lead over ODU.
And that right there was a finisher that did not surprise me. That Sonic forward smash, there's a reason so many Sonics throw it out again and again and again and again. It beats pretty much every move in the game, and there's a reason for that. And there's a reason why Sonics use it to edge guard and are not scared about being counter hit. It's because there is no hurt box on the fist, and it inflates to Looney Tune sizes. Like, think of my proportions as Sonic's proportions. When you forward smash, it turns into this. Like, it gets bigger than his whole body. It's basically a sword hidden in a Sonic. And, well, it did not go well for Voltaic Breeze in the end. So, Kean University, for the first time, does in fact have a lead right now over ODU. A huge opportunity right here to turn things in their favor.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering if Voltaic Breeze, they really got a read on who they were going up against, because again, I necessarily wouldn't bring a Ryu into a matchup against Sonic. I mean, you saw AG Nation, they brought the Sonic out in the last game, in the last matchup. So again, do you really want to bring a Ryu to that fight? Again, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm comfort picks over everything else. So if the Ryu is their comfort pick, then by all means, that's what you have to go for. But again, matchup wise, Sonic versus Ryu, it just seems sided towards Sonic.
100%. I feel like the Ryu pick was good on paper because I talked about the how of the engagements and the fact that AG Nation could do all of this prep, all of this conditioning, all of this spacing, all of this running around the stage, and then they get hit by a jab, and then they take 40%, and then they're forced into a tech situation which gets focus attacked, and then they're dead. So that strong advantage state, when you end up being restricted in how you're moving around the stage, you have to look towards that advantage state. Because if you only get one opening, if your opponent is so oppressive that you can only hit them once per stock, you have to make that one hit count.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering now who's going to be coming up next. We've already seen the Min and of course the Sonic coming from the side of ODU. Are they going to stick with those picks? Are they going to be coming up next? And it looks as though it will be so. We are seeing a Sonic there, and you can see they are hovering around it, and there goes the pick. The Sonic is in, but are we going to see another Sonic v Sonic matchup? I don't know.
I'm thinking so.
I mean, already
AG
seen...
Nation can't. AG Nation cannot swap off. So if we're seeing the Sonic come in, we're seeing the Sonic come in once again. It's Sonic v Sonic. And the way this ended last time was not pretty. At times, we saw AG Nation try to slow it down. But in the end, Novastar was just getting the edge over them. Even though they were at a stock deficit, they still ended up winning the match.
Yeah, we remember how the previous matchup went between this Sonic v Sonic. It went the way of Novastar. Let's see if history will repeat itself. This time we don't have Shadow the Hedgehog Sonic. We have Sailor Sonic coming from AG Nation.
And, well, Novastar giving them a bit of a hoy themselves because, AG Nation has not gotten the chance to wave high. Novastar has just been throwing haymakers since they walked out the gate. 80% already stacked up on AG Nation. Gets a little bit of a jab tech chase right here. An opportunity to get a finisher right there. And I love that slow walk. It shows AG is thinking hard about how they want to position themselves. But at the end of the day, Novastar is just too slippery.
Yeah, and right now, Novastar, they have a task ahead of them. If they want to bring ODU back to even in forms of stock, they're going to have to get a 3-stock perfect against Kean University, against AG Nation. As you can see, they are going right to work. They are able to take that stock off, and now they just need one more to get the stock even, to bring us back to a 6-stock versus 6.
And with how Novastar has been playing, that wouldn't even shock me, Cap. They've just been so consistent, so oppressive. Toss them up into the up air. It's already close to even again. Novastar is looking to lay on the pressure, and AG Nation has got to be feeling it now, because after trying option after option, tech after tech, you're not finding the opening. Novastar just swatting you out of the air. AG Nation demonstrated all of their skill, all their poise in that first match, and it's all being for naught right here as Novastar is showing themselves to be probably one of the key players. Was that a full charge forward smash into a tech, followed up with a back air, and Novastar is insane right now, Cap.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to call it. That's that big Looney Tune fist, and it looks like the back air also will land to get the final stock off of AG Nation. And all it took was Novastar to come in off the bench to tie us back up at 6 stocks apiece.
Cap, let me tell you, that was a fully charged forward smash at center stage into catching AG Nation trying to use their up B by forcing them into tech. AG Nation tech, they're a great player. Instant back air right there from Nova, and then another back air following them off stage to finish that stock. What a sequence right there to demonstrate your mastery of the character. Novastar is clearly one of the reasons ODU is thus far undefeated, because as we said, you get a 3-stock, that's an even game right here. It is 6 stocks to 6 stocks between ODU and Kean University, except ODU only needs one crew battle to win the day.
Yeah, you're looking at Novastar, and they really couldn't forfeit a single stock. And when you're looking on the side of AG Nation, you know, that's what you're looking to do. You have 2 stocks remaining. You got to get at least one. You got the lead. Now you got to hold on to it, which is what we saw ODU do in the last game. So this time it was Kean that was able to start out with an early advantage, an early 2-stock advantage, need I mind you. And, you know, unfortunately for them, AG Nation, they weren't able to go Sonic v Sonic. They weren't able to go toe-to-toe. Novastar, again, just a true Sonic main, and shows us how it's done. I mean, again, just a phenomenal performance there, and played perfectly, didn't even drop a single stock.
And that's the thing that's a little heartbreaking, because when AG Nation played them before, there was a solid minute and a half in the last game of the last crew battle. AG Nation was running the show, was showing Novastar what's what. And then Novastar adapted, and we never really saw AG Nation adapt to the adaptation. They didn't take it one step further that they needed to, and ODU was just starting to run away with it. And with how fast Novastar runs, they're breaking into a sprint. It's up to Kean to stop that momentum in its tracks right here, because if you're able to get Novastar off the board, Shizune most likely is all that remains. And, well, Kean has taken down Shizune before.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if they're going to go with the Min again. Again, we're talking about ODU's last pick here, Min. That again, that's what they came with in game number 1. I don't know if they're going to go with it in game number 2. They could have more characters in their back pocket. I honestly don't know. I mean, again, I assume that we see a lot of characters, you know, they get one and then that's what they stick to. But then a lot of these players will surprise you. They'll have somebody in their back pocket that they bring out either for a counter or they bring out for a rainy day. You had even mentioned it yourself. A lot of players will have a Pyramithra in their back pocket specifically to counter Sonic. So again, it happens. Meanwhile, we are going to be seeing a change in pick here. If my eyes doth not deceive me, it was a Wolf pick, and I am all here for it. I love the Star Fox characters. Granted that I have been seeing more Falco recently than not, but I enjoy a good Wolf pick too.
Now, Lemon T is listed as one of the captains on the side of, I believe this is, Kean.
It should be Kean, yeah.
Yeah, one of the captains on Kean, and while Wolf does have a lot of strong picks, strong tools in this matchup, one of first and foremost is that laser, a transcendent projectile. It is going to hit you no matter what. While that is a strong pick, Novastar can't always just jump over it. And you're seeing Lemon Tea at an initial deficit right here. They're finding ways to make Novastar uncomfortable and claw their way back into this. This is going to be a very slow-paced match, I can already tell, because neither of these players wants to surrender a single inch.
Oh, absolutely not. And I'm glad that you used the phrase claw back into it, because when I think of a Wolf, I'm thinking about the claws. That's where a lot of that heavy damage comes in, and that's what I want to see from Wolf. But unfortunately, they're having a difficult time closing the gap to this Sonic. Again, they're resulting a lot to that laser, and it's keeping them in the fight.
Yeah, because for every single little hit that Novastar is getting with the spin dash, it's answered with a laser. And while theoretically the spin dash can lead to more damage, at the end of the day, it's not a lot. A tech situation right here. All of a sudden, Lemon Tea looked like they had the advantage, but Novastar turned it in their favor, flipped it on its head. Those reversals we were talking about earlier, as Novastar is getting a slight lead here. And then it's gone.
Yep, just as quickly as it has arrived, it has now departed. Easy come, easy go. But like you were saying, you know, the rolling dash necessarily not is even like the main tech here. It's really what follows up, and more often than not from Novastar, it's going to follow up into an up air, but they're not going to be able to recover to use it. Wolf able to get the first stock off of Novastar.
Yeah, Lemon Tea holding this lead. They're trying to get an advantage, but as we saw in that first stock, Novastar would answer everything blow for blow right here. So if Novastar is able to take the stock, it's going to continue being an even game cap. As right here on the ledge, an opportunity right here, down tilt, looking to go off stage, but they get interrupted by the laser. Lemon Tea caught out mid-Wolf Flash with a forward air. That's going to be a stock. Novastar at a slight deficit, but as we've seen, it's more than likely they're going to make it back in just a second. So the question for me is, who's going to finish out on top if they're going this even?
Yeah, and again, like we had mentioned, Novastar not afraid to take things off stage. And honestly, I like Sonic's chances off stage more than I like Wolf's. So maybe that could be a future strat that Novastar could try to implement. Maybe even try to get Wolf even more off stage. So that way you can lead into a lot of those forward airs. And of course, drop the spring. Negate what little recovery that Wolf actually has. So again, it could be a strat that works out. But so far, it looks like Novastar is just going to keep this fight on stage.
Novastar is trying to track them down mid-air, but gets caught out by an aerial, trading blow for blow in the air with Wolf is a scary prospect indeed, as that slight 20% lead that Lemon Tea built by taking a stock early is starting to snowball a tiny bit. Counter hit after counter hit, laser after laser. It's Lemon Tea who's getting the better edge of these engagements.
And right now, things are not looking good for Novastar. We already know that it doesn't take much for Wolf here. All they need is one good opening. And right now, Wolf still in the orange, not even in the red yet. As you can see, again, Novastar looking for those rolling dashes into the up airs. And it looked like Wolf actually took a hit just so that way they can land one of their own. As now you can see Sonic not only in the danger, but they do have rage.
But Novastar spacing, getting around that Wolf up smash, which is notoriously a vacuum. Right here, spin dash into forward air, almost kills right here, and this is where we saw a kill last time. Novastar's edge trapping and edge guarding is monumental, and yet they're not able to finish off Lemon Tea right there and then.
And here we go, going right back off stage, trying to apply that ledge guard, and Wolf can't recover. Exactly. That's what we needed to see from Novastar. We finally got it, but we already know that revenge stock is coming right around the corner.
These players, so evenly matched, so unwilling to budge, because whoever wins this gets an advantage in the crew battle. And Kean, oh my gosh, they want this, they need this, they need to be able to keep this alive, while Novastar is trying to keep ODU's undefeated streak alive, because this means so much to them, especially going into the postseason. You want to give yourself every advantage that you can. Nair at a shield, little bits of chip damage here or there. I'm not expecting any huge combos, but right now Lemon Tea is starting to get at a deficit. Novastar, after being at a loss for a while, is finding ways to even the scales.
Yeah, and I just got to point out again that both times that we saw Novastar get a stock off of this Wolf pick from Lemon Tea, it has come off stage. This time it's coming off of the edge guard, the Looney Tune fist. That forward smash from Sonic connects, and that is going to be the final stock from Lemon Tea. Only 3 remain for Kean University.
And that's 5 stocks total from the side of Novastar. Novastar has demonstrated just how key of a player they are, and Shizune is still in the back pocket. Shizune was a wrecking, a force of nature in their own right, and they're still there. I'm expecting we're going to see Lust come out now, who actually fell to Novastar last time. So if we do see Lust make an appearance, it's a chance for a salty run back. We hyped up Lust as the clutch player last year for Kean University, and if there's any time for you to demonstrate why you had that reputation, it is here and now against ODU, this undefeated titan of the ECAC. It's a chance for redemption from the side of Lust.
You know what? That actually makes me a little bit curious too, because correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Lust the player that was going with the Bayonetta pick that we had seen in game number 1? Again, so how does that Bayonetta fare against the Sonic? Again, you have the aerial speed versus the ground speed here, and again, Novastar has just been on fire today.
It's very tough. It's very tough because in general, I would think, well, it doesn't matter that Sonic is slippery, that Sonic is evading these hits again and again and again, because when Bayonetta does get a hit, she converts it into 80% and then converts that 80% to death. But the problem is not the fact that people are having trouble hitting Novastar. In fact, people are actually having a relatively easy time getting chip damage and little combos at low percent on Novastar. It's actually killing Novastar that is the huge problem. We saw AG Nation get Novastar racked up in percent and then couldn't lay a finger on him. And then could not get their hands on them. So an opportunity right here for Lust to change that narrative right here and now.
Yep, and they are going to be sticking with that Bayonetta pick. And you know what? I don't blame them. Again, you know, we've already seen their Bayonetta, and their Bayonetta is actually pretty good. And not only that, but you only need one stock. That's all you have to get against Nova Star. And right now, if you're Nova Star, you're just trying to get as many stocks as possible at this point. You're just trying to make the job that much easier on your final player, on your final teammate. So let's see how this one's going to go down. As already you can see Nova Star able to get a couple of hits in onto Lust.
Little bits of chip damage here and there. But again, we talked about this. It doesn't matter that it takes Lust a full minute to get a hit. That hit needs to count and needs to count a lot. 48% already, and it's stacking up, but able to air dodge out of it. But even though we see Nova Star escape the combo, Lust was ready to follow up, but Nova Star's defense was too strong for the moment.
And it does look like Nova Star is still able to hold on to their lead as far as damage, but they are playing a little bit far back, trying to bait out the block. So that way they can come in with another spin dash, but they fall right into this aerial combination coming from Lust, and somehow Nova Star still in it.
Yeah, perfect DI right there to survive that combo, and now an opportunity to get an advantage for the side of ODU going into this final crew battle, which you can't be seeing, not when Shizune is already such a huge threat. You want to be seeing even 3 stock versus 3 stock, and yet that's Nova Star popping them up and getting the back air. It's again, Nova Star is so hard to kill at these high percents, and Bayonetta is infamous for not being able to do that.
I was just thrown through a loop because when Bayonetta had that juggle up into the blast zone, the animation was there. The elimination animation gave the game away. I'm thinking that's it. But no, like you said, it is just so hard to get this elimination onto Nova Star when their back's up against the wall. That's when they play their best, and now at 156% damage, they should be eliminated, but they're still not giving up.
100% they are not. Nova Star knows that all of a sudden the pressure is on Lust to make a play happen, so Nova Star can wait, can wallow, and wait for their opportunity to get 50%, get a juggle going, 74. All of a sudden, this could be a kill right here with a proper read, and we've seen Nova Star get those fully charged forward smash at center stage. Can they get an opening right here? Pops Lust up, full rage right here, so one hit will probably kill.
It very well could. This is dangerous, and we already know how well that Nova Star can use the up airs and the back airs to get these eliminations, and now Lust is at 100%. Bayonetta definitely not one of the heavier characters in Smash. It's not going to take much to get that kickback from Sonic as they are looking for yet another opening, but this throw might be the end, and there it is. The forward throw from Lust will save themselves their second stock, and now they will go into the last bout, 3 stock versus 2.
Yeah, that one stock they took, it's already a significant advantage, but you gotta think of the world where Nova Star did get that other stock, and all of a sudden we see ODU up 2-0. I mean, Nova Star, first of all, round of applause, took a stock off of every single one of the players on the side of Kean. They took a chip off of all the blocks. They took AG Nation's last 2, all 3 from Lemon Tea, and a stock from Lust. That's as much as you could ever ask for from a player, because now Old Dominion has versatility. They have the counter pick advantage, and they have knowledge of how Lust is going to be playing. Now Lust back against the wall, opportunity to be clutch, opportunity to flip this narrative on its head. ODU, they're undefeated. They're undefeated. They're not going to be touched. Not for long, because Kean does have the opportunity to reset right here, but it's going to be difficult a stock down.
Yeah, not only that, but they do have a tough opponent as well. We do remember who was behind that final question mark there. It was Shizune, who was playing as the Min-Min. Now you have to wonder if they're going to stick to the Min-Min. I don't know why I keep tripping up on the word, on the name Min-Min. I don't know. Regardless, though,
it's the alliteration.
Yeah, it's definitely something there. But regardless, it doesn't matter, because again, I feel like the Min-Min actually would be a decent matchup against the Bayonetta, because you know, whenever Bayonetta goes in for that dash attack, you could probably anticipate that, you know, the Min-Min will use that little bit of range to try and counter against it. So I'm wondering if they're they're going to stick with that pick, or maybe if they even try to go with something else. But I don't know. I saw Shizune bring out their min in game number 1, and I thought it was phenomenal. I thought they played decent with it. So, you know, I wouldn't be disappointed if they bring it back again.
I would not be disappointed either. I think it would be very nice to see. We did see that Min versus Bayonetta before, and it played out a little something like this. In the beginning of the match, we saw that Min consistently retreating, punishing the dash, retreating, punishing the dash, punishing the combo opener, again and again and again, up until Lust got that initial advantage state. Then all of a sudden, that narrative was flipped, and we saw Lust descend from above repeatedly, and we never really saw a full counter to that, but doesn't look like we're seeing that Min right now at all. We actually see Fish coming in. I see that label on there, and Fish is I believe one of the captains, is one of the longest standing members of ODU. I know them from last year as a formidable Byleth. We'll see if they're still running that character, because I think in theory that's pretty good. Against Bayonetta, you have the same range that Min affords you, but you have significantly more kill power.
Oh yeah, I love Byleth.
You can find. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, but no, like you said Byleth, and you know, my eyes lit up for a moment there. Again, I would love to see a Byleth taking on a Bayonetta. That would be a doozy of a match in and of itself. And like you said, they have that elimination potential and that kickback needed to really put it into Bayonetta. Granted, Bayonetta's got the speed, but my goodness, Byleth got the range. Again, being able to see the sword whip or, you know, even the spear come out could be detrimental, but hold the phone. Let's see who this final pick is going to be. And it will, in fact, be the Byleth coming from ODU.
Now this is scary, because Byleth is a character who doesn't strike you as a touch of death, but I mean, you get caught by one instance of that up B and you're in for a world of hurt. And then also the Nair tech chases into dash attack, into edge guards could just be death. But I'm loving the pressure that Lust is putting on Fish at the ledge right here. Fish needs an opportunity to stabilize right here. Goes for the Nair out of shield, does not get it. Up B doesn't get it either.
Yeah, and you really have to bring this aggression right now if you're Lust from Kean University, just so that way you can make up for the stock disadvantage that you're currently sitting at. Meanwhile, you do have Fish, who is just going right to work here, trying to get whatever chip damage they can, just to make their job a little easier going into the second stock. And already you can see Fish at 100%, but they turn it around off stage in order to get that second stock off of Lust. What a play!
And that's gotta get to your head, and Lust is playing with anger right now. Wrath is better, more fit, but you gotta stay calm. You gotta stay poised. You've gotta find this kill. We're looking for a forward throw. We're looking for a jab. They looked for that grab at ledge right there, and they get the pop-up. They're able to get that forward tilt into back air, and that is a finisher right there, but Fish able to get a clean stock up. And yet, even though we did see Fish get an explosive play right there, I do worry because we didn't see Fish win neutral at all. We just saw Lust run away with stock after stock after stock.
And right now you can see Fish at that 94 percentile. They're in the red. Lust 0. I mean, right now this Byleth hasn't been able to find the mark, you know, since this second stock. And now that, look at this, Lust going right back to work with those up airs. They fumble the juggle a little bit, but something tells me there's going to be another one right around the corner. There's the up tilt and the forward air to get the second stock, and now it's one stock v1. Kean University on the cusp of a comeback.
Fish didn't get a single hit that stock, and now they might not get a single hit again. They got a little bit of chip damage there, so at least it's not at 0. Even game right here, an opportunity right here, a parry, a tech chase, goes for the down smash, and they're going to get punished for it. A huge combo opportunity for Lust right here. Can they get the finish right there? Can they send us to a third crew battle? No, it's Fish back to center stage.
And it's not over yet, and you got to remember, you know, Bayonetta doesn't have that big kickback that we have seen from Fish, but this is all you will need. But wait, the elimination animation debated me again.
And this is where Violet thrives at these 60% or so. One up B could be the finisher, and I'm shocked we didn't see Fish let it rip right there. And now you're looking at down tilt percents. You can confirm into some nasty stuff out of one wrong landing, and Lust is having some trouble getting a hit right here. This is where Bayonetta struggles, and Violet thrives, gets caught by the up smash, and that's going to be ODU, remaining undefeated 2-0 victory over Kean University in the 7th week of ECAC.
Wow. I'm, again, just like at the end of the day, I'm asking myself just how. Again, the elimination animation was there, but we saw a hint of Nova Star in Fish there at the bitter end. Again, it just takes so much extra to get that elimination, to put them into the blast zone, to take that stock, and then somehow Fish was able to hold on for dear life, and then they were constantly going for those up smashes over and over and over again, trying to go for them, and Bayonetta was not biting until that very last one. That last one, Bayonetta rushed straight into it because they were playing platform. The platform was right above Fish that entire time, and every single time we saw Bayonetta rush for one of those top platforms, and this time the up smash was there and waiting for Bayonetta to just rush into that platform, get hit, and get eliminated. My goodness, what a final fight.
It really was. We talked about Violet's explosive potential, and that was it. That was it in purest form. You lose the entire match. There's no other way of saying it. They were losing. Fish was not getting a single hit in. And then you turn it on its head. Then you flip the script, and all of a sudden, it is ODU winning, taking it home in the 7th week of ECAC, as we said. And speaking of the ACAC is kicking off a series of giveaways going into the holidays with their season of thanks. For November, they are giving away the HyperX keyboard, which I know Captain Atsoka has, so you want to be like him. You want to get that keyboard. You want to get all that. So enter at the link in the chat that is being posted right now, right over there, and we're going to see who is going to be our winner in this first month. But for now, in our realm, we have seen our winner. We've seen ODU remain undefeated, and that's all we've got for tonight. But tomorrow, we have ECAC Valorant University at Albany taking on Penn State Barron. It's going to be a great match, so be sure to tune in then. But for now, I've been Keel Miles. This has been Captain Atsoka, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Take it easy out there. Enter the giveaway, and there is more esports to be played.